last Sunday we had a big presentation by many of the congregational leaders here about a new phase of our life together called Opening Doors. You see many of the storyboards out there about a proposed addition to this building that gives us a new front door and visibility out into our community. And I want to talk about that just briefly, but I'll also let you know this. The storyboards are out there. There'll be an open house the first weekend of November where you can come after service and ask a lot of questions and kind of interact with our leaders about it. Secondly, the presentation that was made last week is now on the web. On our website, you can link up and just get to it through that. And it's quite an impressive presentation. So please, if you're thinking you would like some more information, that would be a good first stop for you. And then for today, I have a new technology. You're going to have to bear with me. It's a presentation software I've never used before called Prezi, and we're going to try that out. And I want to talk to you today about this Opening Doors campaign, and there's really a few major needs that we're trying to address here. One has to do with accessibility. The second has to do with Wednesday nights. We have 300 children in children's ministry, 100 of which come on Sunday mornings, 200 of which are here on Wednesday nights. Our children's choirs meet. We have 240 confirmation students this year, and anywhere from 30 to 60, 70 high school students on a given night on a Wednesday night doing their worship service, which is called the River. Okay? We have lots of bodies in this place. In fact, if you count up all of their guides and small group leaders, we have more bodies here on Wednesday night than we do on Sunday morning. Okay? But the thing is that on Wednesday nights, we have no place for their parents. It is strictly a drop-off zone, so we don't have any place for couples groups, for just hanging out with your computer and a cup of coffee while your kids are here, or to do worship together with your children. What this plan does for us is it frees open our worship center to do spiritual practice with family groups as we prepare them to be kind of the place where faith is born in their homes. Okay? Also, the sense of building community here, much like we have out at the drive-in where you guys linger for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, we're trying to build space for that to happen here in this building. To give a new front door to the community, to make our building much more kind of publicly accessible, and then to have the building match the spirit of this community. Okay? Today, however, we want to talk specifically about this. Okay? This little sign, how many of you know where this sign resides in our building? Okay? Oh, come on. Where the sign resides in this building. One by the front door, one by the front door over here. Virtually all of our new people who come here say this is an extremely important sign to them. That wherever you are in your faith journey, you are welcome here. Okay? That's really who we are as a people. But if we were to ask the question, how welcoming is Trinity for someone whose mobility is limited? How welcoming exactly are we? Okay? So whether or not you might be a young family with a whole bunch of children and not enough hands and arms, whether you're somebody with a temporary mobility issue or if you're someone with a long-term mobility issue, I want you to think about that with me for just a little bit today. First of all, just in terms of distance, from this point in our parking lot on 4th Street, it's 450 feet to get to where the Lins are sitting right now, okay? Which is about a football field and a half, okay? Again, if you happen to be a couple where both of you have walkers or some mobility issue, that is a long haul, especially on a day where the weather isn't so nice or when the ice is present, okay? From this point, out on the top deck of the ramp, at its furthest point, is 550 feet to get you back to the center of the worship space here. Again, that's almost 2 football fields in length, okay? And if you were to look at the collection of handicap spots that we have designated around our facility, there's 2 spots right on the 4th Street side, on street. It's extremely steep, and it also empties out right onto the sidewalk. And so one of our families in particular has a van that needs to empty onto level ground. This is not a space that is available to them because it empties out onto the sidewalk, and their van cannot accommodate that. It's also extremely steep, and it's right across from the emergency exits for the fire department and the police department, okay? And it's a busy street, okay? Then, over here, we actually have a handicap spot on the top deck, but it's at its furthest point. As you can see, it actually looks out to the east on the top of the deck. Again, 550 feet from there to here. And so if you're pushing someone in a wheelchair, and oftentimes our couples that have that mobility issue, neither one are particularly mobile, but the one who's the most mobile has to do all the work, and that's a long haul, okay? This is a beautiful spot that we have on the 3rd Street side, but it's actually in our alleyway. And so if there are other people that are coming in and out for service that day, this isn't available to you. And the ramp that it brings you to on the 3rd Street side here is not any longer compliant with code. It's too steep and too short. And it also empties you out right into our worship center, which is not the most welcoming thing if this is your first time here, or if you need a little bit of time to gather yourself as you get into worship. Okay? These are our spots over on the 4th Street parking lot. You can see it's kind of sad, the little signs we have. They're not particularly helpful. They kind of move around the parking lot from time to time, and sometimes they're just not even there, and it dumps you off so you have to cross 4th Street. And particularly on Wednesday night, that's becoming more of a concern for the police department all the time, is our crossing on 4th Street on Wednesday evenings with all the traffic we have. Then the last one is one that I would guess nobody even knows we have. It's on the far side of the parking lot of the post office right now. And it's about as far away from our front door as you can get, or our 3rd Street door as you can get, and it's all uphill the entire way. Okay? If you were to just look at some general issues of accessibility for the building, the ramp on 3rd Street here, as I pointed out, is too steep and it's not to current code. Crossing 4th Street is dangerous with the fire department and the police department, and just the general church traffic that's over there is a little dicey. Okay? The ramp on 4th Street over here has come to our attention in the past couple weeks as we've begun to make this proposal public. I've had one couple that talked to me quite at length that they have both have some limit to their mobility. He now is in a wheelchair. He outweighs her by over 100 pounds. So the prospect of bringing him down that ramp is one she doesn't wish to face anymore, let alone trying to push him back up the ramp. So the things that seem to make us look like we're accessible, for those who really have challenges with mobility, aren't really very helpful. Okay? And so this current elevator that we have up on the top level, you know, this building currently has 2.5 levels, only services the top half level that you come into on 4th Street, and then it takes you all the way to the lower level and never stops on this level. And so that elevator is not helpful to get you into this particular space. Okay? So we have a situation that is real, that many of our members on all age spectrums and for different reasons no longer can attend worship or learning or community events because they simply can't get into our building. Okay? So the thing that was, the proposal that was brought out last week by our leadership offers a couple of solutions here. One is a really large drop-off zone that can put you right by the front door and near and proximate a brand new elevator that would bring you to both of the major levels of this building, and also a proximate set of handicap parking spots that allows you to get into the building easily. Okay? So that is about accessibility. Over the next coming weeks, we'll be talking a little bit about the rest of these issues as well.